Hi guys, welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to be discussing TC2000, which is a charting software. Well, I use it mainly for my charting. I believe they do have a trading platform as well. On their website here you can see you can trade stocks for $4.95 and options and 65 cents and stuff. So I believe they do have their own trading platform as well, or they do utilize a trading aspect, but I predominantly use this for my actual charts. So I'm just going to turn on my other monitor. Just give me a second. One of my monitors have been on too long and it's switched itself off. So if I just close that one. So TC2000, they are, I use them for my charting, and I believe most people, I would say they have more users for their charting than they do otherwise for their trading. That's the statistics. Those statistics were just off the top of my head. I just imagine more people use them for their trading software because it's amazing. I must say, most of your day traders out there do use TC2000. They are one of the... If you are a trader who's using less than $25,000 as a starting amount, most people use TC2000 for their charts, because if you are only using, let's say, a couple $1,000, you've only got, a handful of options like SureTrader, Clomex, TradeNet and places like these, and some of the trading software that you get with these platforms isn't that great. Although SureTrader isn't bad, Clomex is slightly worse. I haven't used TradeNet, so I'm not sure what theirs is like, but I stumbled across TC2000 after reading Warrior Trading. They left a review on here, which I think is quite old, but I know Ross Cameron, who runs Warrior Trading and Warrior Trader, he used to use TC2000 way back in the day when he first started, and their review is 4.8 out of 5. So you can see here, value for investors, 4.5 stars. The value for day traders, 5 stars. The cost is a 5-star. Platform and tools, 5-star. And customer service, 4.5 stars. So I think that's quite a respectable review, because Warrior Trading and Ross himself is an extremely good trader. Diligent and well trained. I mean, he's been doing it for a long time now, and he wasn't always successful, which says a lot. And these are the prices. So you've got a silver package, you've got a gold, and you've got a platinum. And then he basically just talks about what you get for your silver, for the gold, and for the platinum. Personally, he suggests is the $29.99, which is the one I have. So if we open TC2000 up, TC2000 sounds like some kind of artificial intelligence, service. So you can see when I open this platform, well, you didn't see it open because the other screen opened this chart here. So a cool thing about TC2000 is you can duplicate screens. So instead of because I have currently I have 3 monitors, but by Friday, in a couple of days' time, I will have 6. And I have the top right hand corner and the middle for charts, and then the left hand corner for live streams, and then the bottom screens. The middle one is for my trading platform, and then the one to my right of me is my Excel sheet to work out my prices, my entries and exits, my profit loss ratios and stuff. And then the one to my left of me is my trade ideas, which is my scanner. So before I was thinking, how can I have multiple screens with multiple charts on? And the cool thing with this, just to show you briefly, if you want this exact screen, or if you want a different screen, so you want, let's say, one with 3 charts on, you can, for example, go down to the bottom and you can right click and press duplicate. Actually, no, sorry, you press float in a new layout window, like so. And now you basically have this same layout, but the cool thing is you can move it to another screen. Obviously you can't see that now, but that is on my other screen, and if I drag it back, I can also put it onto this screen here, which is really cool because like I say, you can have multiple screens with the same layout, whereas most software, if you try to load SureTrader, your trading platform, on 2 monitors, they won't allow you to do it. You can only be signed in on 1 monitor. So I think this is pretty cool how you can basically pop out your screens. So that's one cool thing. But let's just discard that for the second. So we open the layout, and let's pretend, see if I can get like a default. So see if they have some kind of let's just try and use one of their defaults. Okay, so this is kind of what you will get when you first start your when you first open your account. Okay, so it looks a bit confusing at first because it's got some indicators on there. It's got a chart without the candlesticks on there. You've got some indicators on the top. You've got some indicators on the bottom. It can be a little bit confusing to what to put on there, what to take off. So first things first, let's just simplify everything and let's just delete things we don't really know what they are or we don't really need. So let's just start with the things that we know. We're used to a chart. Okay, so if we right click on the mouse, we will see you have some options here. So if we go on to edit chart properties, okay, so now this is giving us the properties of the chart. Let's have a look. So at the moment the plot style is on HLC bar. Now I personally use candlestick. Okay, so we can see they're now changed to candlesticks, but they're all green and some are filled and some aren't filled. Some are hollow. So we want to change this to net change. Okay, so now we see the red, which is the sellers or the bears pulling the price down. And now we want to fill those bars. So we can fill, you can see if I change those. Some people like them like that. They're pretty cool, but if we fill them in, it just gives it a bit more colour. And if you go down to, you can see the transparency here, the clearness. So some people could have it dull. Personally, I like to have that at full. And then this can be 100%. So if we change yesterday's close, the line of yesterday's close to 100%, so we can see the lines. And I like to have the top, I like to have it at green so I can see, and then I like to have a blue. Let's just change that to a light green, and let's go for a light blue. And as you see in a second, you'll see the lines of yesterday's, let's have a look. So you see here, these lines, let's just change those again. So they have got dotted lines, I didn't see that. So if we change those to a straight line, you'll see that yesterday's close and yesterday's close and yesterday's open, you can see here. And you can also use your mouse, your scroller on your mouse to zoom in and to zoom out, which is actually pretty useful because on some of the trading platforms you can't actually utilize that function. You have to, well, I'll just show you, for example, on Clomex, you can't use the mouse to scroll in and out. You have to use this down here to move, okay? And then you have to use this to zoom in and zoom out, which is really annoying, okay? But the good thing is, on TC2000, you can basically scroll with your mouse, with your roller on your mouse, which makes the process a lot easier because sometimes when you're trading very quickly, you just want to scroll in and scroll out, whereas it might only seem like a minor thing, but on here you've got to make sure you're getting it bang on, and then it's just little things like that do make a big difference. It's like hotkeys, isn't it? It's like, does your platform have hotkeys? Because that can make a huge difference. Like, does it have hot buttons? Down here, can you buy 200 shares at the ask price straight away instead of having to input all the details? By simply pressing one button, it will basically send your order without you having to spend 10 seconds or 15 seconds inputting that data, which sounds very petty, but honestly it's a huge deal because I've had trades where I've been in and out of a trade in 7 seconds and made $200. $200. But I'll just quickly show you the trade that I'm talking about, and you'll understand why it's so imperative to be able to even just trimming 2 seconds off your trade makes such a difference. So yeah, $207 profit in about 50 seconds. So let me just show you quickly. So by the way, the quality of this video for some reason really bad. My color ratios were just off. They weren't good. So just watch this. So So in here, you can watch me enter the trade. I press a hotkey. I press my buy 95%. Boom, I'm in the trade. Now watch the stock. And I sell. You can see down here, I sell 100%. So I just entered and exited a trade in 7 seconds, and watch how I did it. So you can see here, I'm hovering on buy 95%. I click it. My trade is now entered. I am now in at $7. Okay. I watch the stock go all the way up to about 740, 750. I sell 100%. Boom. I'm in and out of the trade in 7 seconds. I made $207. So it just proves the point on you've got to be quick. And this here, not being able to scroll and having to do this and messing up and getting the right, you know, it can be quite bad when you're trying to get in and out of trades quickly. Same as the hotkeys, you know, does your broker have hotkeys or hot buttons? Hotkeys are basically buying and selling with, like, you know, shift 1, shift 2, whereas hot buttons are basically a hotkey in the form of a button. Like here, I can buy 200 shares and it will say order, limit, 200 shares at the ask, and basically that is shift 1. So I can either press shift 1, which uses 2 hands and 2 buttons, or I can press 1 button with 1 hand and press buy 200 shares, and that'll buy it straight away. And then I can press sell 100% or sell 33% and sell it in segments. But anyway, this is not for today's video. So this is TC2000. Like I say, we've got the chart, we've added, you know, the candlesticks, we've filled them in, we have our open and our close. So let's have a look at the edit chart properties again. So this is all cool. We've already done this part of the chart. These are our indicators, so top and bottom. You can either delete the indicators like so, and we can also add an indicator. So if we want to add a moving average, just type in moving average. You can see here moving average exponential. Okay, and where do you want to add this moving average to? Do you want to add it to the volume? Do you want to add it to the chart? We want to add it to the chart, so we click chart, OK. Now you can see this moving average, this yellow exponential moving average has appeared on the chart. Now if we click edit, we will be able to change the colour. So you can change it to orange, you can change the period to 6, or you can change the period to 90, and as I do so you can see the line changes. So 50, that's a 50 moving average. And if you would like to delete the moving averages, or you can delete it here, press remove, and you can see down here you can remove the indicators at the bottom by simply just pressing right click and then remove. And now the chart's looking a little bit better. So we go on to edit chart properties again and go on to the third one, which is pre and post market. You can see pre and post market background color. We could change this to black if you wanted to. Personally, it doesn't really do much for me. We can change the color and the grid. So the gradient we can have black, okay, or you could have it. You could have this on grey and then this on black if you prefer. You can change the lines, so you can see here how vibrant they are. And you can also change the lines, the horizontal lines with the colour. Okay, I'm going to cancel that. And then let's have a look on the third one. You don't need to bother with any of these, plot on the line stock. That's okay. So now the chart's looking a little bit better. Now, what about if we want to add a horizontal line or a vertical line? Okay, well, if you go to the top right hand corner, you see this little like paint icon. You can click this, and now you get all your tools. So you can draw a trend line if you wanted to draw a trend line like so from one top to the bottom, or if you wanted to draw a horizontal line at the top of a high point, you could just simply click. So this is a yellow line here, a vertical line. If you want to choose a vertical line, you simply press this one here and just press where you want the vertical line to go. You can also have arrows, so if you're just to try and denote something or indicate, show some kind of signify some kind of display or some kind of chart or trading pattern, you wanted to have a text. So if you wanted to do an arrow, and then if you wanted to input some text, you simply just write next to it, and as you can see, you can write next to it. You can also erase all, so you can delete everything. Okay, so you can delete everything on the chart if you want to, and you can also add circles if you would like. Loads of cool stuff around here. I don't need to tell you like everything. You can basically, now you know that's there, you can kind of explore that yourself. So we've changed the chart to a candlestick pattern. We've filled the candles in. We've seen the highs and the lows. You can also, so you can, if you want to save this chart layout, you can go on save chart as, and you can save it. You can see here mine's chart 1. So if I go over here and go on to replace window and press chart, you'll see my chart is here. My chart's saved as chart 1. So if I open this chart, you'll see this is my standard chart layout. You can see I've got my 6 moving averages, my 14, the VWAP, which is the volume weighted average price, the 26 moving average, and the 50 exponential moving average. And then you see I've got the volume at the bottom, and I'm going to change my background just for a little bit of a darker, like I had on the other chart, perhaps like so. I think that looks pretty cool. Or I could have it all black. I think that one looks better, so that's how I'm going to have it. And this is another cool thing you can do. As you can see on here, you've got the margin, and the margin is this little section here. So you can have the margin close to the price, or you can give yourself a bit of a gap. I like to have a 5 to 10% gap, just so I can see what, I don't have to wait what's going to happen each candle. I can kind of grasp what's going to happen. So that's basically the options for that. You can see where to get your horizontal lines or add text or erase stuff. Now this is another cool thing. If you want to add another chart next to this, you can basically, if you duplicate this chart by pressing this little arrow here and press duplicate, you now have the same chart, and if you press this arrow, this move window, you can put the chart wherever you like. So you can put it next to the chart you already have. Now you have 2 charts. Now if you want to do the same again, you can basically duplicate this chart and do the same again. You can add it underneath, so you can see this little arrow here. So now you've got like a 3-way chart, and if you want to do it again and have 4 charts, just do the same again and move it next to this one, and now you have 4 charts, and you can basically drag the chart across, bring them in the middle. And now this is a cool thing. So when you get your platform, when you sign up for your platform and you actually are able to open TC2000, they will come like this. So they'll be basically, once you change one chart like this, it will change the other one like that. So if you want to unlink them, you basically just click on this S at the top, the symbol, and just put not linked, and then they won't be interconnected. So you can change the symbol and this one won't change. But if you do want them to change, you can link them together. So you could have orange and orange. Now if I change this one to, let's say, BIC or BIO, this one will change to BIO as well. Okay, which is pretty cool if you want to use it. I do use it on one of my charts. I believe I use it on there's a there's a chart where I have I may have used, yeah, so here I have these 3 all linked together. So I have like a 1 minute, a 3 minute, and a 15 minute. So if I change this one, they all change together. Then I have these 2 down here just for independent stocks. So if you want to make a new layout, you simply just click on this new layout tab at the bottom, left click on this, and now you have the options of creating a starter layout, or you can have some that are pre-built. So if you want to have a pre-built one, you can see here you've got 4 charts. They are all interconnected, so you might want to click on not linked at start just to make sure they're all independent from one another. And you can see here we've got a scan going on here. If you want to replace this, you can click replace window, and you can replace it for news, a chart, a watch list, a scan. You can split it vertically, horizontally. You can add alerts. You want to add the news, or you want to add some notes. You can basically put corporate earnings on here, and if you type in a stock, you can then find the corporate earnings all for this stock in here. So like I say, if you want to go as before, you want to change this to a candlestick, you basically just click on candlestick, or you can have a bar, or you can have a line. Personally, obviously I have a candlestick. Change these to the net change, and we are going to change this as green, like so. Change these, and we are going to have open and close, and there we go. Like I say, if you want to add indicators, you simply just press on this green arrow here, and you can add indicators, moving average. Yes, I want to add it to the chart. Click it again. You can add, if you want to add the Bollinger Bands, you can basically add those as well by clicking on the chart, and now you've got the Bollinger Band, so you've got the high and the low marked. And if you want to, so at the top you've got the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 3 minute. These are the time periods. Each candle represents 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 30 minutes. So each one of these candles represents 30 minutes of trading. I'm just trying to see what else I can show you. We've got on here, so if you wanted to, for example, if you want to link independent ones, like I showed you earlier with the orange, you can have them on violet, so they don't have to be all the same, so they can basically be different colours for different charts. If you want to save a chart layout, you simply go to the bottom and you right click and press save layout as, and then you can save this layout as your name, like for chart layout or whatever you want to save it as. As you can see here, I've got some saved. So if I just delete this one and I can open any of these ones that I have saved. So this is my, say, layout 2, and you can see here this is one chart layout that I have. If I want to delete the indicator, I just simply remove it. So Bollinger Bands, go to the top, right click, remove, like so. Also, if you want to add alerts, if you want to add like a price alert, you can simply get the horizontal line, and you can, for example, put a line wherever you would like. And if you wanted to have, let's say, an indication or an alert go off at 9:45, you just right click, set an alert, and then basically you can set an alert for once the price crosses $4.95. And then you can edit the sound. You can get an email if you would like. You can choose the sound, and then you can press OK, and then you'll get an alert once the price has crossed $4.95, which is also pretty cool. So TC2000 also has a scanner on here, which is called Easy Scan. So if you wanted to add the scanner and you wanted to look for, say, gap stocks with momentum, you could click gap up with momentum. You could add this if you wanted to, let's say, delete. So if we just move this over here, let's just delete this one, and we could press replace window. Let's go with the Easy Scan, type in gap, type in gap on here, and then you can have gap up with momentum, and then you'll have all the stocks gapping up with momentum today, and you can see AMG. So if you go to the chart and just type in AMG on your keypad and enter, then you can enter a stock's name, and you can see AMG here had a gap up this morning all the way from 151 all the way to 159. If you want to save this entire layout, you basically go to File at the top, and you can save the entire layout by saying Save Layout Group, and then you can call this Layout Group 1 or whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call it this, and I'm going to overwrite it, which basically means that I'll just basically copy, it'll overwrite the system that I had before. So the layout I had before, this will now resave it. Just trying to think of any other things that I struggled with when I first started. I mean, the main things I struggled with when I first started was all the charts were interconnected. So like before, all these were the same, and I did not know how to change it. It was just a simple button pressing and not linked, and that kind of solved my whole issue. So because I think changing the color of the backgrounds and just having a play around with the software is always a good thing. So I'm just going to change this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm now going to save this layout as my actual chart layout. So if you go on to save, and you go on to save chart as, and you can say chart 1, and as you can see, if I now go onto this chart and I open, if I go on to, well, I could exit this one, replace the window with another chart, and go on to chart 1, and as you can see now I've got the same background as this one, and I can change the stock to whichever one I like. So the moving averages I have are the 6, the 14, the 26 and the 50. and the colours that indicate this, as you can see, are light blue, dark blue, orange and pink, and I also have the VWAP as well. But I think that's going to be the end of the video. I may have missed some things out. Actually, I will show you one last thing. So on your services, you will have to pay for, if you would like the real-time stock data, so obviously you want the stocks, you need to know if the stocks are going up or down, basically in the same day as when you're trading. So for you to be able to do that, you do need to purchase the real-time stock data, which is an additional $15 a month, but it's well worth doing, because obviously there's no point looking at prices that are 15 minutes delayed, so that's very imperative to have. So other than that, I think I've mentioned most of the things that you need to get started. I think once you understand some of the stuff I've gone through, and you're able to save a chart, add some indicators, you know, being able to put horizontal lines on, setting alerts, once you've been able to do that, the things that you may have wanted to ask questions about before, you'll probably solve them yourself. Some other things here, you can increase the chart's height, you can stretch the chart out, you can also move the chart here with this arrow here, so you can move the margin across like so. You can zoom in with the, and then at the bottom here you can take the chart all the way back to certain dates of the year, so you can do back testing. So thank you for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It'll help me out and also help you out for further content. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Other than that, guys, I will see you all in the next video.